why don't we like monopolies? First, because they may charge high prices. I mean, in this case, more to advisors and to sellers, not to the consumers. But also because they don't innovate, and that we want to have entry, and we want to have entry both in the core segment, so search engine, marketplaces, social networks, and also in complementary segments, sellers. And the DMA, which is the antitrust part of the package, is really about fostering entry in both markets, in both segments. On the core segment by having interoperability, by facilitating multi-homing, which is a technical term, but basically encouraging people to connect to multiple platforms, to be able to switch between those platforms. Protect sellers also. You won't be able to use data of sellers. So if you innovate a new product, Amazon or Apple won't be able to use your data in order to mimic your product and make the money out of it, and no self-preferencing and the like. So that's very important for innovations. I want to insist. It's very important that you have DMA. We need some kind of DARPA, something which is independent, run by scientists, take big risk, manage this project, and not what we do in Europe and certainly not in France. And also we need an ecosystem, top universities. We need all kinds of venture capital and all kinds of regulation that favors entrepreneurship and don't send our best entrepreneurs to the US. I doubt it's not the government's role actually to decide who the winner is going to be. What the government can do is to create the infrastructure, create the knowledge, create the local ecosystem, like Stanford did and Xerox part and many others did for the Silicon Valley, where all the innovations are. The outcome is that we're still talking about national champions when we don't have any enterprise in the top 20 or almost none in the top 100 in the world in terms of market caps. If we want to compete with the US and China, we need European champions, not French or Danish champions, right? So that goes without saying. I would say in terms of yes, sometimes we do need public support, and that's why I would suggest that we do have some accountable process, and that's why, in order to make sure that we actually give the money to teams which are going to deliver, or are going to deliver with a reasonable probability. And that's the political process is not satisfactory for that. In the report of the Commission I chaired with Olivier Blanchard, we actually recommended what is being done now, what's going to be done in Europe, which is to have a border tax adjustment, which is for carbon, to avoid that all the carbon-intensive industries move abroad, or rather the products move abroad, and that's very important. So we have to have I don't know, sometimes regulations, sometimes ESG is called not only for the commissions, but also for researchers and everybody in the room to think about how we should regulate AI. It's very important. So if you look at the AI Act, there are interesting points being made, but we need more guidelines to know exactly where you want to stop. So let me give two examples. One is social scores. We do have social scores on Uber or eBay or something like that. So where do you draw the line, and what's going on? The other thing is human supervision. So humans also make big mistakes. So you also have to look at the counterfactual. It's not only the machine having biases, but you also have to think about it. And where do you draw the line? Let me give you an example. In China, and financial, Alibaba lends to millions of small and medium enterprises, and you get the answer for your loan within 1 second. Now, how is it possible? Of course, because you have artificial intelligence. They have lots of data about you as a person, and their algorithms are very accurate, so that actually they make money out of that. Now, in that case, that was not bad, because those millions of SMEs, small and medium enterprise, could not get credit from banks, from the big national public banks. So probably it was a good thing in that case, but there was no human supervising. So that depends also on how much competition there is. So, for example, do we think of having a loan, having access to a loan as a right. I don't know. I mean, you don't want everybody to have access to loans and to be over-indebted. And then, it also depends on whether you have competition. So if you don't get the loan from Ant Financial, you can get a loan from another bank. This is the kind of things where I don't have the answer, but, we need to have answers. So I would say the lack of human supervision may not always be bad because it reduces costs quite a lot. But I also see the danger of that. So we need to learn over time and, make progress and get toward clearer guidelines on what can be done and not done. And taxing robots and AI and so on per se, that's a big debate among economists because, of course, they take jobs. Sometimes they create jobs as well. And there's a big debate about that. So now we don't want to be Luddites and basically stop our growth and basically have no purchasing power, which will go down because we are not using the new techniques. The big challenge, I would think, is not opposing robots and opposing AI. We are going to get them. We want them. The big challenge is going to be the quick disappearance of jobs and sometimes very skilled jobs. And that's a labor and dignity issue. And taxation, personal taxation issue and subsidies, safety net, which is we have to solve. And that has little to do with the technology itself. There's been technological progress for 200 years, and it's very welcome. We are not going to get rid of toothpaste because it's going to reduce the number of dentists, right, or something like that. It doesn't make any sense, and we would not forego all those things that are so nice. So we need robots, we need AI, and the question is how to regulate, but also think about the labor market implication because they are going to be violent. The difference with the past is that it's going to go much faster in terms of job destruction and job creation. And that, of course, is disruptive, and we have to think about what's going to happen to our societies, which already are in kind of trouble. We need to improve GDPR quite a lot, but we also will have, and everybody knows it, we need to really now to improve DMA and DSA, even though they are very good steps. We have to realize the incentive of platform, but also the incentives of people. So motivated belief is one of the issues, right? We want the narratives that we like, and we want to believe what we believe what we want to believe in. So that's always going to be an obstacle. And in terms, it's not true that we always want to have the truth. We have to think about algorithmic monitoring. This is complicated because you have to think about what you request from algorithm. The algorithm will find a way of maximizing profit, but then in the process may do lots of things which are opposite to the DMA, for example. So it may, for example, offer best price guarantees, most favored nation clauses, where basically your platform guarantees you the best price. That's going to be legal under DMA, and I think rightly so, but the algorithm will find that. But more generally, we'll find that actually it's profit maximizing. So, what kind of, how do you control algorithms and the like? So it's not going to be easy, all the more that the staff is going to be relatively small. I mean, we need more computer scientists, we need more economists and so on. And that's going to be a real challenge. And then I could go on and on with the challenges we have to face with the DMA, but let me emphasize those are very, very good starts.